also guide us through an initial practice. Thank you, Margie.
Thanks, Judith. Welcome, everybody. So I'm just going to speak very briefly before we do our little practice and put yoga therapy in a context. So most people are starting to hear the word yoga therapy now, and a yoga therapist such as Georgina and I has an extra layer of training to our yoga teacher training, and that is in how to really adapt yoga for people from all walks of life. People maybe have never done yoga, certainly people living with cancer during their treatment, and any other health concerns. So this is a very different approach to yoga. And it's interesting to understand the context that this was always how yoga was practiced traditionally. Yoga, as we know, comes from India, and it's thousands of years old. So we know that, it stood the test of time, yoga. But now we have so much, as Judith was saying, we have such an abundance of research now and really science to explain this ancient practice that holds so much relevance for us in modern day life. So what I wanted to do is just kind of put the yoga in cancer care in a bit of a context, because most people think of yoga as what they see in the media, images of people tying their body in knots that are quite young and fit. And most people would cast yoga off and think, I can't do yoga, and maybe that's it. They strike it off their list. But here at Lifehouse and in cancer care settings all over the world now, we're offering a yoga that is really suitable and available and can be adapted to you in whatever situation you're at, whether you're having treatment or after treatment into survivorship. So the American Society of Clinical Oncology now has recommended yoga as an effective and safe approach for people. And what we're really looking at helping you do is helping you work with some of the side effects that you may experience and that many people experience during their treatment, such as fatigue. And Maria will be explaining in more detail the research in these areas. Yoga helps with fatigue. It helps everybody with fatigue, people living with cancer, but people in the modern world. And I'm going to explain a little bit about the science about that in a moment. It helps with sleep. It helps us with our mood. It helps us feel better physically. So that relaxation of the body, the release of tension in the body. Yoga can help with that kind of chemo brain, the fog that we get, that's part of cancer treatment. So on multiple levels, because yoga is what we call a mind-body approach, right? So what I'm going to explain to you a little bit, because you might be thinking, wow, that's a lot of benefits. And how does this work? Because there is a real science to this. And it's quite interesting. And what we're going to do is explore feeling this in the body a little bit. And as we go, I'll explain the science. So yoga works by working with our stress response. So the stress response is very much a part of how our body evolved, and we need it. We need our stress response. It keeps us safe, it protects us, it mobilizes us. But what often happens in modern day life, and when you're going through treatment for cancer, is the stress response gets switched on, and it's hard to switch it off. Right? So we know this feeling, we feel tired, it's hard to breathe, mind gets foggy. We all know this feeling of stress. And yoga, in essence, is a way that we can work directly with our nervous system and learn to modify this response. So we're really learning how to feel our body, feel our breath, and change our behavior. So let's have a little go at this right now. And I'll talk you through this. We're just going to spend a couple minutes working with the breath and doing some very simple movements that are safe for everybody. So what I want you to do is just get comfortable in your chair. And I invite you maybe to close your eyes and just sense your body and make sure that you are comfortable. If you need to support your lower back a little bit more, support it. And then I want you just to take a deep breath in. So just breathing. We breathe all the time, and it's such a powerful tool for helping us work to relax our body and mind. So take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to make a little sound and put your hand right here on your belly and go. So what we're doing is we're lengthening the exhale. And so I want you just to try that a few times. You can rest your hand on your belly because I want you to feel some movement there as you breathe. Just breathing in a little bit more and breathing out slowly. You can open your mouth because you're muted, or just think about feeling your breath lengthen. So what's happening here when we work with the breath in this way is we're actually working to dampen down the stress response and to switch on what we call the parasympathetic or the rest and digest. And this is hard science now. We know that we can do this, and this is how yoga works. It's quite simple, but we need to practice a little bit. So let me also just briefly demonstrate the physical feeling that we get in yoga, because yoga is very much about the body and sensing our body. So what I want you to do now is take a breath in like we just did and tense your shoulders. So this is what happens to us. We can walk around like this all day long. It's telling our brain stress, stress, stress. But if we go, we connect to our body, we let it relax, and we breathe out slowly. So just try that a few times for yourself. So breathe in, tense, feel the feeling. You can feel it right through your whole body. It penetrates even your mind state. And then breathe out. So you don't have to make the sound anymore if you don't want to. I just get that so people can really strengthen the feeling of lengthening the out breath. And Georgina will be talking a little bit more about this, and bringing a feeling of calm directly to your nervous system. So two last things I want to say about yoga, because I have been teaching at Lifehouse for a while. And one of the things that I love about yoga is it's empowering, right? Because dealing with cancer takes your power, it takes your control away. And by learning some of these simple techniques that you can learn in a one-on-one session or coming to a group class, you can start to feel like you can help yourself. You can help yourself every day in your home for 5 or 10 minutes even. So we can show you these techniques. The last thing I want to say before we hand over to Maria is yoga. A lot of people love to come to yoga because of the group, and we call it Sangha. And it's such a powerful thing because if you're going through the process of dealing with your cancer, you get to meet other people and you get to share in this experience. And it's very powerful and it's of great benefit. So if you find a class wherever you're living that's maybe in another center or in our center, you'll get to meet other people and develop a sense of Sangha and sharing while you practice.